good afternoon, or good morning, depending on where you're from, right? I hope you are having a sacred Sunday, a calm Sunday, making it a day of rest from work, maybe rest from social media so you won't see me, a day of worship. So much lately about how those of us that go to church go because we're broken and messy, not because we're better than. And real Christians know they need more help than most people, and they're just aware of it. So that's why we go to church. Um, but today I wanted to jump on and first just say hello, and second kind of send everyone a hug. I feel like a lot of people are hurting. But as a mom, we went to church today, and kind of the theme was not letting emotions lead you, which is hard for me because I'm super emotional, for those of you that know me. And it was about the movie Inside Out 2. I didn't know that was the number one grossing movie, animated movie, um, over any other one, I guess. So I didn't know that. And I have seen it. I watched it on a plane by myself, I believe. But what I was thinking about this morning, they were asking us to pray for Charlie. And what I was thinking about Charlie is, first, he doesn't really need prayers. Whatever you believe or like or don't like him, or whatever you look like or think like, I'm pretty sure Charlie's in heaven. He was a man that really put his faith first to the point of losing his life, due to his conviction of the Bible being true. But what was on my heart, they listed the four things that happened last week. They listed a school shooting in Colorado, they listed 9/11, they listed Charlie's assassination, and they listed the young woman who was murdered in North Carolina that had moved away from the Ukraine to experience peace and hope and safety. And unfortunately, that is not what happened for her. But what keeps coming up for me and my heart, and even I was with a couple of ladies last week as we were hearing about the shooting of Charlie, is since the Minneapolis shooting in the school with these young, beautiful children. Well, first, I always think everybody has a mother, and I think we wish the best for our kids, and we pray the best for our kids, and we hope the best for our kids. And yet, our kids sometimes struggle. But in that Minneapolis shooting, I couldn't help but think about the mother, like her hopes and dreams for her son. And yet, this will be his legacy. And maybe her legacy, that people will remember her. Weren't you the mom of? And I remember when I first became a mother, one of the greatest gifts I ever got was from a woman named Nancy Nelson. I had just turned 20 years old and given birth to Matthew. And she said, from this point going forward, you'll be invisible. And as a child, I had felt invisible. And then she's telling me as an adult at 20, I would be invisible. And at first, I didn't totally know what she meant. But she said, from now on, you'll be your baby's mother, and you'll be so and so's mother. And people will meet you and go, aren't you so and so's mother? And I can't help but pray and have a broken emotional heart for the mothers, all the mothers of the perpetrators, the mothers of the victims. And I just kept thinking about, really, the people that need our prayer more than anyone are the people that will be shunned, the families of these horrific tragedies, for those that have lost the life. But really, as Christians, as people of prayer, shouldn't we be praying even more so for the person who violated the other humans, the other children, the other people in the world, for the parents of the people of 9/11, not just the people that died, but the people that enforced that? And some will say, Annie, why do you care about them? Who cares? Because I'm a mom. And because sometimes my kids don't do everything I hope and wish for. And God forbid they ever do something so horrific. But I've been with a lot of moms that are embarrassed or ashamed or devastated by their kids' choices and their kids' lives and their kids' bullying of hurting another person. And a lot of people will say, what's the mom's fault? I wonder what happened at home. It's the mom who is at fault. And this morning, as we sat there and talked about emotion, I couldn't help but think about the mothers of these men with guns, the mothers who are embarrassed and shamed and labeled and judged for a choice that their children made. And as much as we are and aren't responsible for our children's behavior, I just wanted to jump online and ask you, would you join me? Would you join me in praying for the mothers, the parents, the family, the friends of the horrific people that wounded another person? As much as I can't imagine a young woman losing her life to being stabbed, I wonder about the man that stabbed her. Like, When did you get so sick? How did you get overlooked? How did you become so invisible nobody got you help? When somebody decides to shoot a person because they live differently, think differently, speak differently. I didn't know who Charlie was until I heard about this shooting, but now it's hard to not see him everywhere. And though I believe with some of what he said, maybe even most, sometimes his delivery was a little intense. And I know whether he intended to or not, it could hurt people. And I just think about who, what are we doing to care about people? Yes, speak truth and care about people, but be sensitive to how people receive the truth. Some aren't ready for it. I always think about, I have a friend and she said, I like you because you meet as many people in Bible study as bar stools. And I said, well, the thing about me is that I know I'm messy. And the thing about me is that I know God didn't make anyone perfect. And when we start thinking that we sit higher or that we are greater than, it ends up hurting us as much as it hurts them. It also creates a disconnect. So I think as a professional speaker, when I take the platform, what I like to call the privilege of the platform, I got to be careful about my words. I got to be careful about my ego. I got to put that in check, leave that home. And remember, I am there to serve and to love and to encourage the most broken people and the most successful people. That there's some place between great success and great struggle that we have to meet. And when we start to think we are better than other people or better than other people parenting, I know before you're a parent, it's so easy to sit there and say, oh my gosh, my kids would never do that. My kids would never act like that. And then you become a parent. And then you are that person in the store, in the mall. You are that person on the street. Your kid's that person with addiction or anger or being bullied or bullying, all the things. And I don't know, my heart's just heavy today. It's been such an emotional weeks, really, um, since the shooting in Minneapolis, and just the heaviness of who is safe and what can we do differently to make people safe. And some might say it's guns. And for me personally, I say it's mental health. I say it's not recognizing the signs, not wanting to see them, figuring they'll work through it, they'll outgrow it, instead of getting the help they need, instead of getting people help for their depression, their fear, their anxiety that consumes them, like the movie Inside Out 2. It's ignoring. And there's nobody specific I am blaming. I'm not blaming anyone. I'm saying there's so many young people and middle-aged people and older people falling through the cracks that are depressed that nobody feels seen or takes the time to truly listen to. I think mental health is the problem. And I think I have to be a voice in honor and memory of my brother. But for so many addicts I know, for so many people I know that struggle with depression and anxiety and try and suck it up, tough it out, instead of getting the help they need. And yes, there's lots of medicine out there, and medicine can be a component of help. But for the most part, when you're struggling with mental health, you need way more than one thing. You need medicine, you need movement, you need therapy, you need a coach, you need a support system, you need good food, you need lots of water. You need a lot to get healed and whole. And when someone tells you they're angry or they want to die or they want to kill someone, listen to them. Please listen to them. They're not doing it for attention. They need your help. So we don't have to have one more mom or one more family or one more church or school or gathering or trolley ride or train ride become a horrific experience. And I am so grateful my kids are adults, but my hearts go out to every parent, every mother, every father, every grandma, aunt, uncle, foster parent that's sending a kid to school with fear. I just ask you to join me in prayer, Lord. Just join me to pray and ask God to bring peace and unity and order to this world, and to bring hope to the hopeless, and to bring eyes and ears for us to see and hear those that are struggling with mental health, that they get the help they need. Because healthy, happy people don't want to hurt other people, but hurting people want to hurt people. And this week has been layer upon layer of pain in an already challenging time in our life, still doing our best to recover from Ian, and yet doing my best to serve people, to hold them and their stories, to recognize that depression is not something you have to muscle through, and that someone threatens or is sad or has self-hatred in any level, let alone hate other people. It's really hard to get out in the world and bring hope. So I ask you, will you join me in praying, not just for the victims, but for the perpetrators? Will you pray for the broken in our world and pray for their families? Will you be the person that shows love and forgiveness even when it makes no sense to us? Even when it breaks our heart, would you still have love and compassion for the families of, and even the person that is the perpetrator, that is out there killing and victimizing and terrorizing other people? Can you pray for them, for their healing, for hope? Can you pray for those struggling with mental health, addiction, and the combination of both? And pray for their families, that they never give up, that they keep believing that there is possibly good out of the darkest and most horrific things in life. Thank you for listening to me today. I hope you hold this Sunday sacred and you take time to rest and to heal and to join me in prayer and hope. God bless.